It's that guy that likes to talk about tech, and I'm back with another video for you guys, and I'm comparing my current daily driver device, the Google Pixel 10, up against one of my most favorite Pixels of all time. That is the Pixel 4 XL. There's a lot going on here, and yeah, let's talk about it in this video. So, the coolest things about both these two devices is the fact that when they were released, it was about the telephoto lens, right? Pixel 4 XL and the Pixel 4 had a wide angle shooter, and then it had a telephoto, which a lot of people were just like, why? Well, I guess, they foreshadowed this in the future with the Pixel 10, right? 6 generations later after this device. And yeah, it's still snappy, still functional, still great. I mean, I've made videos talking about the Pixel 4 XL and how it's still good in 2025. And it is. It is the last flagship from Google that had a flagship chip from Qualcomm, right? Think about it. Pixel 5 had Snapdragon 765G. So, hey, go figure. But, the telephoto lens, and they were talking about how people wanted to zoom their shots in. And so, yeah, when you see what the telephoto lens can do on the Pixel 4 XL, it's still kind of amazing. I mean, it's only 8 times zoom. It's not 20 times zoom like the Pixel 10, but it still gets some pretty good detailed shots when you take close-ups, which, of course, you'll see on the screen here in a little while. But, the body, it's thin, you know what I mean? Not trying to throw anything at, the iPhone Air, but the Pixel 4 XL is pretty thin. And it's got some pretty cool features, too, that I wish that, the Pixel 10 would have. Like, for instance, the playground within the camera app. I mean, this was something that I thought was, like, really nice and fun. Would have made photography even more fun for people out there, especially when you're trying to focus on photography with your smartphone as one of your selling points. Why would you get rid of a feature like this? This is actually pretty cool. Now, there may be a way to mod the Pixel 10 to be able to include this in, but that's, not everyone's into that whole modding thing of their phone, whatever, right? And cool thing about it is that you can also take video. As you guys see here, I have a little video sample for you guys up. Using these different, these playground play emoji thingies. So it's pretty cool, right? I called it a thingy. Uh-oh, I'm getting old. Anyways, when you fast forward to the Pixel 10 and seeing what it offers and everything, obviously, of course, the latest in the lineup of Pixels, and it's going to have a ton of AI features, right? And these AI features do trickle down. The 4 XL does get some of these features too as well, especially access to Gemini, but not Gemini Nano. Just, cloud AI is basically what the Pixel 4 XL will get. Whereas on the Pixel 10, you get all the new features, right? The Magic Queue, and the live translation and calls, those types of things. And so, I mean, yeah, that's really where the bump up kind of happens. Hardware and all that other stuff, yes, does make a play. But of course, the real magic happens in the software. And so, if you were able to get the Pixel 4 XL up to an Android 16, you would probably be able to adapt some of these features in. Just saying. Now, of course, in the telephoto lens market comparisons, just for all rights and reasons, of course, you're going to get a lot more zoom with the Pixel 10. Zooming in with that much detail with 20 times zoom on, yeah, that's just pretty cool. But let's try to match it up to 8 times zoom, just kind of make it a fair ordeal, And I think it, does pretty good. So while you get these nice zooms with the Pixel 10, which I am a fan of because going around doing photography and stuff like that is just a hobby of mine. And then, just seeing, even with that shot, and then looking at the Pixel 4 XL, and it just looks good. An old Pixel device can still shoot with the best. Of course, you have all these features like Gemini, right? Access to Gemini, which is something like the Pixel 4 XL, it does have that I wish would have came back when it comes down to just the intelligence of a phone and stuff like that. So there's this feature on the Pixel 4 XL called Active Edge, which, if you squeeze the side of the Pixel 4 XL, it'll launch the digital assistant, which since, Gemini is installed on the Pixel 4 XL for cloud AI, if I squeeze the phone, I can engage to begin my search query, which is something that's pretty cool. And I wish they never got rid of that. Like Playground, Active Edge, those are things that I wish that Pixel still had today, being quite honest. But there is a slight workaround with current Pixels today, which I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit. But yeah, you try to squeeze the size of a Pixel 10, there's no action happening. However, you could do where, you know, we have this gesture where you tap the back of the phone, right? Which is, I think it's like default set to, you know, screenshot, but you can change the gesture and you can have it set to open a specific app. And in this case, I set Gemini to be what's open. So if I, you know, tap the back of the phone, it will, you know, launch Gemini. The same as on Active Edge, squeezing on the Pixel 4 XL, it will launch Gemini. So, I mean, that's kind of a workaround, but it's not the same as the squeeze feature on Active Edge. So, I mean, yeah, you know, it is what it is. It's a workaround. So, overall, you know, I've been a huge fan of the Pixel 4 XL. I really wish that I can find a non-Verizon model so that way I can install Android 16 on it and just see what kind of things I can do with the Pixel 4 XL. I'm still searching for one. But the Pixel 10 really just kind of shows you 6 generations later in the advancements that Google has done entirely to bring forth smart, intelligent features, which is one of the main selling points of Pixels today. You know, I'm not trying to be mean, but Apple's been talking about its intelligence. They still have yet to launch Apple Intelligence, which is a leg up that the Pixels will have over iPhones.